know if you've ever felt like that, where you are really devoted to a creative project, however, at the same time, you feel like some kind of resistance in whichever form. How can we stay devoted to the creative project that we are working on, at the same time honoring our energy, like the flow of our energy, like where our energy wants to flow, like how do we feel in our body and what do we really want to do, and keep doing what really excites us or brings us joy. So the card that I pulled was, again, the blessed bee. So I don't know if you have I don't know if you have watched my first video, but it was the same card as guidance that came up. So I'm using this really beautiful deck, that oracle deck, to get the messages from Mary Magdalene. That this deck was shared with me from one of my really dear friends. I don't know if you can see it in the video. So I was like, okay, so I've received this card again. So definitely there's like some more messages that are trying to come across. So although like bees are really small, and like we might not give like that much importance to the bees, however, what they carry like is really potent, like it's really powerful. Like what they carry is honey, right? So you are working on a creative project, and a part of you, like you feel a part of you is feeling some resistance towards working on it, or is feeling tired, or doesn't want to work on it. Then it's important to listen to that part. It's important to listen to what message that part of you that feels tired or doesn't want to proceed is carrying. It could be like a really significant incoming message for you. So that's the first thing that I got through this card. So not to ignore that part of you that wants to, let's say, take rest, or is feeling sleepy, or doesn't want to do it, or however like that part of you is feeling. So it's important for you to take the message and know that it's valid. It's not wrong, it's valid. Like that part of us is valid. So like this is what I've done like actually most of my life, I believe. Like when I was in corporate world, I worked there for like almost 15 years, and I would feel like not doing something, let's say, but I would push myself to do it so that I keep going and like work towards the goal that I had. So I've pushed myself a lot. Like even I've just like acknowledged, okay, like a part of me is saying, nah, I don't want to go to office today, or I want to work from home, or today I want to work from, like, let's say I want to go to cafe and work from there, or today I don't want to work on this, but I want to work on that. But I like kept pushing this part of me to work according to like whichever company I was in, or basically against its wishes. And that's why I like quit my corporate job, and then I came into this world of intuitive reading and energy healing and emotional well-being coaching, because it gave me freedom to do what I truly want to do. So I definitely didn't want to push the part of me this morning which said, oh, like you're feeling sleepy, like you don't want to do a video. So I really acknowledged that part, and I knew it's valid. But again, like the risk can be, which like I went through like both extremes in my life. A part of me that has pushed myself, like keep going, even if you're feeling tired. At the same time, I've given like a lot of compassion and preference to the part of me that wants to take rest. So just keep taking rest. So yeah, so like it's important. Basically, the message today is how we can create a balance between the both. So balance between the both would mean that we still stay devoted to the creative project. At the same time, we are honoring our energy. So what basically I did was, so like one of the things that can help us in this situation, like the number one thing, of course, is to, as the card guided, that the number one thing is to know that this part of you is valid. So that's one. The second thing is to listen to what this part is really trying to say. So it's important to create a structure around the creative project. Let's say, for example, the structure that I created was that every single day I'll do one video. Like that's the structure. And let's say the part of me that's feeling tired, it doesn't want to do video. If I force it, I'll be like, oh, nah, like do the video, just get it done and it's over. But I didn't do that. So I validated this part of me, like who felt tired, and I journaled. I was like, okay, like how is this part like really feeling? And like what came out of journaling was that this part actually was bored of doing the video same day, like for last 2 days, and it needed something new. Like although it is okay for this part to be in the structure of doing one video per day, but it just wanted something new, something exciting. So it wasn't really looking forward to doing a video where I pull a card. So instead what I did was I took this as the situation to create the video, and I pulled a card as a solution to what needs to be done. And what I got, as you know, was the blessed bee. And if we look at the bee, right, like the beehive. So beehive is the place where basically the whole container in which all the bees collect the honey. right? So I don't know if you know much about beehive. So I just researched about beehive to understand this message more. And so this whole beehive is the structure in which there are a lot of bees inside the beehive, right? Like they, and all the bees, they go out, collect honey from the flowers, and then they come back and store honey here. So all of these bees, they are like male bees, and there's also female bees. And all of them, all of these bees are working for one queen bee. And it is called the queen bee because it is responsible for reproducing more and more bees. So all of these bees have been given a role for what they need to do. So there's a whole structure created, and each of the bees, like consider like each parts of us, like they have been given a role to perform every day. So for example, the queen bee's role is to create more bees, reproduce, and the male bees are not allowed to do anything but just to help the queen bee to with the reproduction. And all the female bees, they travel outside and they collect all the honey and they come inside. So they collect all the heat. How there is such a beautiful structure within the beehive, as well as there's like a lot of collaboration, connection, and working toward one whole thing, like one whole, like working for the queen bee, which can be considered the creative project that you're working on or that I'm working on. And at the same time, like all the different workers, like the worker bees, like the male workers bee, female workers bees, and within them, like they can all be like, they can represent like a different, like, so they can represent our emotions, our energy, like where our energy wants to flow, where our emotion wants to flow, or they can also represent our thinking, our intuition. So they can represent, so those, so if basically the whole idea that comes from this card, bee, which also shows the beehive, is how we can create structures. However, if we can really understand the purpose of each and every part of us, and then each and every part of us knows its purpose, the direction, and is consistently working towards that purpose, that can lead to a really successful project. And I can try and make it simple because I know like that's quite a few different words here. So let's say, for example, that if I'm working on this project, then I know what my purpose is, which is I'm feeling really called to get across these messages that I'm downloading, which are coming mainly from Mary Magdalene at the moment. Yeah, so like that's my purpose. That's what I'm feeling called to. So I'm aware of my purpose, and I know what my direction is, which is through filming these videos and putting them on YouTube and different social medias, I can get across my message. That's my direction. That's how I can do it. And the consistency comes where I have created a structure that if I create like one video every day, then along with my other workload, I can manage to fulfill my purpose, which is getting this message across. So this is my purpose, direction, and the consistent effort. At the same time, if I can also make sure that I am making sure that my energy, like my energy fulfills its purpose, which is, and the purpose of my energy is to let me know how it's feeling right now, like where it's wanting to flow. So for example, my energy, like when I was feeling really like sleepy, I just sat with myself, and then what came was that probably I need to do something differently. I was bored of doing the video the same way for last 2 days, and if this can be done differently. So instead of doing the video that I was doing in past 2 days, what I did was, to this confusion that I had, I pulled a card, and now I created like the whole video out of that card. So, and like this whole thing, like I found that really interesting. My energy was so excited. My energy was like flowing and so happy while doing it. Like it just shifted from being sleepy to like getting really excited. Oh my God, that sounds fun. Like it resolved like one of the things. I gained like so much awareness out of this whole thing. And now I'm putting this across as well. So fulfilling my purpose, being consistent. So it's really important for me to make sure that I am not ignoring the incoming message that I'm getting from the worker bees, which is like my energy, my emotions, my thoughts. And I'm trying to create this balance where I have like both structure, because I've had like structure all my life for a lot of time. So, and then I've had like a few years where I've just had flow and no structure. So now I'm like slowly transitioning into a balance of both structure and flow, because if there's no structure and only flow, then flow will move here and there. It might give us like momentarily, like it might make us really happy. And if we only have structure and we don't give preference to the flow where our energy wants to move, or we don't listen to our inner voice, what we really want to do, that will bring us joy while creating this project, then what will happen is we'll end up feeling burnout. So it's really important to have structure and flow together. So next time if a part of you feels odd, then just reflect really deeply on what does this part, like what message does this part like is really trying to get across. Make sure that we consider that part as valid and we don't push it. Pushing it would be saying that, hey, like I saw you, but let's just keep doing, because we need to be consistent and we need to work towards our purpose and we have this direction to go, so let's just like do it. I know that you're feeling that, but still do it. Let's just ask that part, like what will bring it joy? Can we like do it differently? Like for example, like I was able to do this video differently, but I was still able to get across my message, follow the direction, be consistent, just do it differently. So that part of me was like, that's exciting, like let's do it that way. So yeah, so it's really a time for you to like just question, show this part of you compassion, connection, and let it know that, hey, like you notice it, I see you, I feel you, I hear you, and let's just like together like work out something so that you find joy, because our energy is just like wants to feel joy. Our creativity is fueled by joy. So every time you get stuck, just ask that part of yourself, like what would really bring you joy? Just reflect deeply, sit with that part, talk to it, and ask what will really bring it joy, and that's the solution. Yeah, so it was actually a really interesting message, and I just want to say, like I'm working more towards like knowing more about these aspects, but basically like the structure part, which is knowing what our purpose is of doing that creative project, and knowing what our direction is, and being consistent. All of this is masculine energy, part of ourselves, and listening to what our energy, emotions, and thoughts are trying to say, listening to our inner voice, and showing compassion and feeling connected to each and every part of ourselves, that's feminine energy. The solution lies in what can we do, which is both comforting for that part of you as well as rewarding in terms of working towards a project. So both comfort and reward, and that can only happen when we do it the way that brings joy to that part of us who's working on this creative project. Like joy is one of the biggest things that fuels our creative project. Yeah, so this was my message. I hope this is helpful, and I would love to know what your thoughts are about this, and how do you manage when you come across a creative block. How have you been managing, and are you working on it as well like I am? And if there are any tips that you would like share, like I would love to hear that. Thank you so much for listening to this video. Thank you so much for staying till the end. Thank you.